So welcome to Coffee, Eggs and Inspiration. It's a weekly show that goes out over YouTube if you're keen to watch, or as a podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud. I think there's a few of them now to choose from. And each week I get to sit with a super inspiring person and listen to their story and share it with you. Quick shout out to House of St Barnabas. This is where we are at the moment. We're in a very elegant, ornate room called the Silk Room, and they've given us the use of this for the interview. So thanks to House of St Barnabas. A great house for a great cause, fixing homelessness or helping alleviate it in London. So my guest this week, very excited to welcome Jamal Edwards, who is a real inspiration of mine, and I think many others. He's the founder of SBTV. SB, by the way, stands for Smoky Bars. We're going to come back to that. It was the old rap name, right?
Yeah.
1.2 million subscribers, 770 million views. And through SBTV, Jamals helped launch big names like Ed Sheeran, Jessie J, Rita, Amelie, Sandé, and many others. Jamal got an MBE from the Queen in 2014 as a recognition for his services to music and business. Best Startup of the Year in 2015. Forbes 30 Under 30, GQ Top 100 Most Connected Men of All Time in 2016. He's an ambassador for the Prince's Trust, and actually I think Mercedes as well, the car company. Has an MBA from Luton and Bedfordshire University. Campaigns for mental health, and has been really vocal about the cause and his own experience there, and is working also on reviving youth centres, including in his own backyard in Acton. Amazingly inspiring guy. I'm really grateful that you've made the time. Jamal, thank you and welcome.
Oh, well.
Does that seem overwhelming to listen to that actually?
Yeah, it sounds a bit mad, but yeah, thank you for having me, and great, well researched.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it's you're all out there. You know, you're a very public figure these days, and a very inspirational one. Really appreciate it. So let's start by winding the clock back. I think you were born or had the early part of your life in Luton, and then subsequently you spent most of your time in Acton in West London, right?
Yeah. So I was born in Luton, and I sort of lived there for about 6-7 years, and then I think and it's weird because when people come from out of London, they really I really had the sort of first-hand experience of reaching the window in reaching and hitting the ceiling. So it's like my mum, I think, was in the best job, and it wasn't earning her enough.
This was in Luton?
Yeah, in Luton, so she had to move to London for a better job. And it's mad when people actually say that to me from up north, like Birmingham, Manny, Liverpool. Yeah. But it's getting better, but back in the day, like 20 years ago or whatever, it was like you had to move to London to get somewhere in your life. So yeah, my mum made the move to London.
And your mum, of course, is Brenda.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Brenda on TV.
Yeah.
Brenda Edwards. I think she came fourth in the second season of X Factor, right?
Yeah. That was an insane experience, and I think that was the reason why I had a good Christmas or birthday that year, because she had a bit of money.
Right.
So yeah, that's how I can get my camera. Which then.
So she gave you a camera.
Yeah. So my parents both chipped in.
Right.
To get me a camera for a present.
Video camera.
Yeah.
And how old were you then?
14, 15.
14, 15.
Yeah, but when I first started, it wasn't like what I was doing now. It was more like I was just filming everything. I was filming my mum make dinner. I was filming like wildlife in my garden. I was just filming loads of stuff that wasn't music.
Just experiencing videography and learning the trade.
Yeah.
And were you uploading at that stage to YouTube?
Yeah, I was. I was. I think I did upload one Fox video, but I deleted it because it was just like
Fox video, as in a real fox in the backyard.
Yeah, Fox. Yeah. That's what I first uploaded. But then, I uploaded a video after that, which was of me at a college trip in Birmingham, and loads of people saying, yeah, this is sick. the other one was just too random. Like it's just like a random night in my garden.
So you're finding what people liked.
Yeah.
You're learning how to film and edit. I suppose.
Yeah.
Doing it all on a pretty simple camera.
Yeah, I was on it was like my phone camera first, then it was mini DV tapes and Windows Movie Maker, like programs like that.
This was like 2005, something like that.
Yeah.
So this is before
2006. Because I remember November 2006 was when I opened up the YouTube channel.
Okay.
And then that's when I started uploading loads of rubbish. And then February 2007 is like the official, like where I'd say is the first official video that I let people know about. Yeah, so that was like, so I remember like YouTube was like a year old.
Yeah. And
it was like, just like, I was learning like how to do titles, descriptions, all that sort of stuff.
Right at the very start.
Yeah.
I wanna drill down and get you to tell that story deeply. Before we get there though, it sounded like you took some inspiration from your mum. Mm-hmm. At least, is that fair to say? Or where did this come from? This desire to do videography, upload stuff, film stuff. There's obviously a passion there.
I don't know. Like, I think a lot of it was like practice hours, Risky Roads, Lord of the Mics, Channel U. Like it was that sort of thing, and I was just like, I want to film my own videos.
Right.
And my friends weren't getting the recognition that I felt they deserved. So I thought, let me try and create it for them.
And what were your friends doing?
Recognition
for what?
Yeah,
rapping.
MCing and rapping. Yeah. So like that was like my biggest thing back in the day.
Were you rapping yourself?
Yeah, that's where Smoky Bars comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still rap?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I did something with Jamie Oliver.
Did you?
In his kitchen, yeah. We made a beat out of his kitchen and I rapped in it. But that was just
as
like,
you do. It seems like such an obvious collaboration.
Yeah, it's just random. But like I've obviously because it's such a random thing. That's why I rapped on it and I wrote 16 lyric. But I don't do it regularly. I'm trying to like do other stuff. I don't know why I'm adding more stuff to do, but like, I'm trying to learn how to produce and DJ at the moment. So I want to do that. That's been one of my childhoods.
You have so many things on your plate. Oh my goodness.
But I shouldn't. Like I told my agents like, maybe it's like I've got enough. Like I don't need to be learning that as well.
What'd they say? Nah, go for it.
There was like, cause basically a big agency wants to put me on their books, and they're like, you can make a killing, and I've like, no, I've got mates that are DJs. I don't want to just be booked because of my name. I want to be good. I want to like craft. Like when I started filming, I spent hours rendering, uploading, checking, deleting, checking. Oh look, nice.
Oh yeah.
I knew it.
That's off camera. We've just noticed the mouse.
It's gonna run up from underneath these bits now. Hey. See, before with mice, I remember in my office, I had them. They jump, they jump.
Well, you got your feet
now
up.
I have.
You got your feet up.
Because it's just gonna run through
your legs. I don't know. Well, this is interesting. This is adding some flavour to the video. Let me take you back to the dawn though of SBTV. So. You launched officially, and if we're distracted, it's because of the mouse over there. A very clean mouse, I should say.
Yeah.
So you officially launched in, I think you said early 2007.
Yeah.
And what was on it? What was the content? Was it music content?
Yeah, it was Cadbury's Factory, random college trip, and we snuck out the back and went to the vending machine to go get some sweets and Coca-Cola. Then I was like, you know what, let's spit some bars, man, let me film you. And then that's when I filmed them just rapping over one of my friend's beats that they produced.
Yeah.
And then I uploaded it.
Mm. And how did you get the word out there? Because that I'm learning actually firsthand.
So these are the rogue tactics that I used. One of them.
How do you build an audience?
Was there was like master computers in my college and school. So I used to go to the master computer and change every single homepage to SBTV. So when people used to go in there, even if you didn't know, they'd be like, oh, what's that? And then I get viewers that way. Like another way, I nearly got kicked out for that. Oh, there's another one. That one's smaller though. That's gone underneath that table. That's gone underneath that door now.
This is his home.
Yeah.
Home.
So yeah, I did that, and then like another way that I did is I used all the printers, all the ink, printed like leaflets. They went to the high streets, I handed them out.
Guerrilla marketing.
Yeah. Then when they found out I was using all their ink, so I was like, this is the last chance, Jamal. Like, stop. And then
this is school.
Yeah, school, college, and then I went to Westfield and changed every single iMac Apple to SBTV.
No.
Yeah. But me and my mates.
Did they not notice you were doing that?
No, because we just did it slide. Just looking at each one. I was with like a couple of mates. Like, come, let's go, and we just changed it all
just
to
reset
the YouTube.
the homepage.
Yeah. So we did that, and then what's the other one? I don't know. I just used to do stuff like that.
And it was word of mouth. I guess.
Yeah, word of mouth was a big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always used to think like, what can I do to like get the word out there?
I'm learning stuff here.
Yeah. I do it. I even do it now sometimes.
Do you?
If I go into a place and there's a computer, I'll just set the homepage to.
Do you?
Yeah. Still, you never know. You might get an extra viewer.
Should we try and do it when we go out?
Oh yeah, you have to be a bit more sly. The lady's on that computer.
Yeah.
The one downstairs.
But
there's places you go where there's like open. I did it at Soho House in LA. You know, they got the two mics there. I changed that.
Oh yeah.
Just put it on the video. Yeah.
Amazing, good techniques. And the content at that stage was dance music, so DJ stuff, mixing stuff, and grime.
No, so it was mainly grime, like spitting
grime.
lyrics,
Yeah.
music videos, a bit of interviews, and just behind the scenes content.
Right.
Yeah.
And did it stay that way? Because you eventually got into broader types of music, right? What was your thinking there?
Yeah, because I think I was filming artists, rappers, MCs, and then it became a thing where I wanted to. I was like filming the same people again and again in the same area, so I was like, alright, cool. I've got everyone in acting. Now I need to go and jump on the train and go somewhere I don't know. So it was like going to like areas I've never been, all up and down London. And then once I did that, I was like, alright, cool, I've done that now. Let me try a different genre. So then I started filming singers, and then Mum was like, you should film some singers, because she was a singer. And then that's when I started experimenting with singers.
Did you ever film your mum?
Yeah.
Yeah? Put her up on, she's been on SBTV?
Yeah, but don't really. We'll do another one.
She's still there if we searched?
Ugh, why are you doing this? Yes, love it. But yeah, we're going to do another one. This is like back in the day.
Mum, you heard it here.
Yeah, we're going to do another one, of course. She's doing sister act, so imagine I get her and Whoopi to do something. That would be sick.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Okay,
Manifest.
so were you still doing all of the filming and editing yourself at this time?
Yeah, it was just me, and then I started building a team after that.
Yeah.
And that was done by people messaging me, emailing me saying, I really like what you're doing. I see you don't do this, I can do this for you. And obviously I didn't really have money to pay for it, so it was just people just keen to just get involved, and that's what allowed me to scale up the business.
Oh, amazing. So you set up a small team there.
Yeah.
And how did you find these people? Like, how did you source at that stage? Because this was still pretty early on. It's like mid-2000s.
They got in touch with me a lot of the time. I think the first person I got in touch with that I needed was my presenter, Georgia. And I had the interview with Kelly Rowland. I was too petrified to do it. So I went on Twitter, I think the day before, and I was like, I need a presenter. And then loads of people sent me loads of links.
Oh, really?
And then like, I looked at loads of them and I was like, you know what? People don't expect me to pick Georgia. She's like quite posh. So I just said, I just went with her. And when we put her on the channel, people were like, what are you doing, Jamal? Like, that is not SBTV audience, but it worked, and it was just like a risk that I took.
Right.
So then that was the first person that I actually did an outreach for, and then I started building from there. But it was quite daunting because everyone that I employed eventually was older than me, so it was very very difficult to delegate and sort of direct people, because I was always
paying people at this stage, or
later on I was, like when I got bigger brand jobs and money from YouTube, that allowed me to be able to pay people.
So talk to me about the development of the business, because this is big time commitment. How frequently were you uploading, by the way? Were you daily or weekly, or
like every day?
Every day,
like,
which is tough, right?
Yeah.
Always on. You got to figure out which phone is on.
Yeah, so that was the Pixel that was actually speaking.
It was?
Yeah.
Should we wake up? Okay, Google.
Oh. Why'd you do that?
There you go. Okay, so and the business started developing. So you were getting sponsorships. So people were asking you to do what?
A lot of it was to make content, like including their products. So it's like a lot of it was product placement,
right?
Or it was to promote, like PlayStation, promote a new game, or it was to promote an event
and put that on your channel.
On a channel. Sometimes the events would be helping to run it, not necessarily have the content on the channel. But it's a multitude of different. Like it's an amalgamation of loads of different things. And
of course, one of those ads was for Chrome, right?
Yeah. BBH.
Talk to me about that.
I actually reposted it, and like the comments, like some of the comments on the thing, I was just so humbled. Where is it? I was just like, where is it? Let me find this.
You have to explain what it is. People will be searching.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Wait, where is it?
This guy is a social media king, by the way. He carries these two phones. He's on one or the other and posting. And
so like, oops, what is it? So like, some of the comments that people were leaving was like 8 years ago. Wow, like I can't believe it. I watched this when I was a little kid, and then, like some people was just like, I remember this, watching this for the first time. Like it just took me on a proper like memory trip, because like people was like, this was such a huge moment for all creators, man. This should be celebrated every year. Like, and basically because I was allowed to edit the names of comments, and the comments I put some of my friends, like people might not know, I put my friends' surnames and some of them. So like it meant like it was like a private thing between me and them, acknowledging them that they've been a part of the journey, or that they've been and that's the great creativity was allowed me to do stuff like that.
So you had a lot of discretion over the content of the ad. And
they just sat me down and said I remember this being in Google Dublin. But yeah, the comments were just nuts. But yeah, they sat me down and said, what do you want to do? And it was a proper collaborative, symbiotic process of us working together. And yeah, like, I was allowed to pick the music. And it was nuts because Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber was the ones that were done out of the UK. And it was like sort of the first one in the UK. So it was definitely a career highlight moment for me.
Amazing. So that sort of became very popular, viral, and did you start monetizing on your YouTube channel at that time or close to that time?
I think it was just before that, and like after that, a lot of bigger brands started to like, ooh, what's this? Ooh, do you know what I'm saying? So like, it gave exposure in that sense as well.
Right. And talk to me about you. I mean, you worked with some really, really big artists at the early stages of their career. Ed Sheeran, for example. Tell me about that story.
Yeah, so that story is like, I tweeted what film I should watch, and he said Precious, and randomly I was just like,
good movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've still watched it all the way through yet, but I then like checked his music out, and I was just like, wow, this is sick. And I went down to I Love Live, and I was like, I've never really put a single in SP before, that's consistently. So we shot like 4 videos in that day. And when I went down to I Love Live, met him, and I was like, wow, you're sick. And I think the following week, we ended up shooting You Need Me, I Don't Need You, A-Team, then there's Loppy, All My Life cover, and that one other video. Amazing. Where we just changed the clothes in each one.
And it was just him with his guitar and was he using his loop at that stage?
Yeah, jumped on a train from like Twickenham or something like that. Went to Sunningdale or something like that, I think the studio was. And yeah, that was definitely an interesting, and we were sitting in the kitchen thinking that, I swear, I'm gonna ask him, I think we came up, because I was asking, what should we call acoustic sessions? And we just couldn't make up a name. We were sitting in the kitchen for time. And then I remember I had F64, which was like Fresh 64 lyrics, which is for MCs. Yeah. So then I think we was like, yeah, let's do A64, even though it's not 64, just the familiarity of 64
A as an acoustic.
And A as an acoustic. And I was like, cool, safe. And then everyone thought Ed recorded the intro, but he didn't. It just sounded like him.
Really?
SBTV. I need to bring that back. Everyone keeps like.
Was it you?
No, it wasn't me. It was just. It was one of the people that I used to work with. But I'm gonna bring it back next year, 2020.
Are you still in touch with Ed?
Yeah. I was speaking to him the other day.
Yeah. And he obviously built a big audience with your help, and went on to amazing things.
It was good because I wanted to work with singers and he wanted to work within the scene, so it was like perfect. And
he's an interesting artist, right? Because he does a little bit of rap and a little bit of...
Yeah, he can spit bars. I remember he came, like, when he had a little bit of downtime from the tour, he came over and we just went driving, listening to his latest collaborations EP, and I was like, wow, he's spitting bars. But I know Ed for years. Like, I know he can spit bars.
Yeah.
Because I remember messing about, like freestyling, and we were like, spitting the bars in the flow, setting the bars in the road and so whatever. We always like.
So you guys were
always
riffing
like back
with
to
each
back.
other,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, back to back.
Smoky Bars and Ed Sheeran. There's a combination.
You never know. You might get that track one day.
How's that mouse? You found
it?
Yeah,
it keeps coming in and
Does
out.
It? Okay.
Yeah. But it's going into the other room. So you can see it there. You see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just chilling.
Interesting. And Jessie J, Amelie, Sandé, Rita,
Yeah, these are all people that I was just. My big thing, like, that I was working on the rappers was I wanted to get them before a lot of people knew about them.
Yeah.
So like with Rita, it was very early.
Yeah.
Like Jessie, it was very early. I did Jessie's first video.
So Jessie came out of Brit School, right?
Yeah. So I find all these people on their way. It's just like I managed to get in there early, I guess.
Yeah, how do you do that though?
I just like, I don't know. I just like keep my ears to the ground, keep my ears to the street. I'm always on. Like, for example, I haven't made as much content as I'd like to make because I've been like focused on the community efforts and just trying to get that all going. But like, I love making content at the end of the day. Like, I could wake up and I will sit in the studio and book 10 artists in.
Is that your happy place, just doing the video?
Yeah.
Do you still do you still film? Do you still edit?
Yeah. No, not as much as I'd like, but just the curation and the A&R and finding, unearthing talent, I get a buzz off that.
Yeah.
It's like a game for me, like, to find the next big star. Yeah.
Incredible, and it's such a worthwhile social purpose as well. That these people go on to make
helping the artists.
Absolutely helping the artists. Really interested to explore some of your other interests, which you've kind of touched on a bit. You have written a book. I'm going to come back to that at the end. Actually, the book is called Self-Belief: The Vision, How to Be a Success on Your Own Terms. Right? Yeah, amazing. But you're doing some ambassadorial work for the Prince's Trust.
Yeah.
You've also got some campaigns running around youth centres. Talk to me about where that's coming from.
I think like it came from going back to my area and going to, like, I was in Birmingham the other day and they were saying their centre's getting shut down in Walsall, can I help? And I'm like, oh, like, and like just
Brian Taylor's neighbourhood.
Yeah, I know. I should actually speak to him about that. And like, I've got like, oh my god, the big one. That's a big one.
That's not a big one.
That is the big one. There's two. See, that one's brave. It's coming over here. I'm telling you. Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Sorry.
This is probably, we should explain to people who are listening to this as a podcast that the mouse keeps coming in and out. Actually, we need to explain to people watching this because the camera's on us and the little mouse is over there. It's a resident mouse. Everyone needs a house.
Yeah. Sorry, but
Prince's Trust. You went back to your own area.
And like, loads of people are just like saying, and I think with Delve, I've got the blueprint of how to do it in other areas.
Right.
So like now obviously people are seeing that, they're like, can you come and do it in my area? So it's like that need has just inspired me to try and create something. And I've been, like, for the 17th week now, we've engaged over hundreds of kids, and it's very like...
This is Delve.
Yeah, this is Delve, yeah.
So can you explain Delve to people who may not have heard?
It's like a grassroots, like, youth-run project, supported by Google and Welcome Trust, and we're basically reopening centres in areas where they've been closed and trying to connect with young people. So like, if a young person wants to do something, I'll try and make it happen with Yara, and then try and build upon it. So like, even on Friday we've got Jenny Longworth coming down, who does the nails for Rihanna, Adele and Jessie. So it's like,
that's a big nail job, that one.
Yeah. So he's gonna come down for the nail workshop and teach the girls art tricks and nail tricks and that. So it's just trying to like do as much as we can and give it as many experiences for the young people as possible.
So sort of pay it down and help others, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And you're a Chelsea fan?
Yes. The game is on right now.
Why not Luton?
Yeah, but that's the Chelsea, the Premier League.
The game is on now. Now that's commitment. Do you want to check the score? Go on, check the score. I won't edit this out. You got to know how keen this guy is on Chelsea.
My mates have gone there. It's in.
Do you know you can pin the live score to you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's 2 minutes.
Okay.
But my mate sent me an Insta like, yeah, we're here. Champions League is quite big.
Oh, jeez. I feel very privileged you were
broken yesterday, 7-2.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And do you know what with me? I am a big fan. Like, I go to as many games as I can. Like, I'll go to like a lot of games, but it does take over my life.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes I have music video shoots or studio, and I'll be like, and there's a game, and it's like. But for years I was doing music, so now I'm choosing. I do a lot of football. So I told my agents like put in every single fixture until next year in my diary. And
got season tickets, I mean.
Yeah, I got season tickets. Yeah. So I was like, please, because like pay a lot for them. Like I want to go to some games.
Did you play football yourself?
Yeah, a little bit I played, but it wasn't that good. I think like if I didn't break my ankle, if I didn't twist my ankle, I'd be a pro by now. That's what the excuse that everyone uses.
Yeah.
But health not health. I meant like I want to get back into sport, like playing five-a-side. So
what do you do for sport at the moment?
Not a lot.
What do you do to keep? Because you're in good shape.
I don't. Thank you, but I don't. Like I need to. I used to go to the gym. I haven't been to the gym in 6 months, but I'm gonna try and get back in. I've been too busy. Nah, I want to get into tennis.
Tennis.
Like I like tennis.
We could have a game of tennis.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Deal.
And football.
Yeah, football 1-on-1.
Yeah, that'd be mad.
I'm from a rugby playing nation, so
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
The rugby's on Saturday, so let's go there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we fit in, but.
We're in what are we? 2nd of October today. So the Rugby World Cup's on, and all sorts of football's kicking off, and interesting stuff.
It's just busy with sport.
You're doing some work with Mercedes.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So that is a partnership where they're helping empower me to run my own YouTube channel. And yeah, it's new. I need to be more consistent with it.
What do you call it?
Self-belief, JE self-belief.
Yeah.
Like, just the 21st century entrepreneur, life of entrepreneur.
Amazing.
And yeah, like I have so much plans for that.
It's up now.
It's up now.
So I'll link it below.
Yeah, it's up now.
Check it out.
Proper YouTuber Craig is. Click down below. We've got all links in descriptions. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Please also subscribe and do the bell thing.
So yeah, like I'm doing that, but like I need to be more consistent with it. I've got so much content there. I'm such a perfectionist. I'm such a perfectionist and a procrastinator. Bit of both. Where like it hasn't been released. I've got 7-8 videos sitting there that I should be releasing every week
in the bank.
But I'm just like, ugh, it's nuts.
Well, time. I can't understand why. So you've got SBTV. You're an author. You're a speaker. You're very active on all social media.
I'm not a proper speaker though.
You're not a proper speaker.
I don't do keynotes. I've never like.
Because you don't want to?
Because I'm scared of it.
You're scared of it?
Yeah.
What are you scared of?
Don't know. I just can't. I just don't. I've done 1 or 2, but always when I do stuff is Q&A. You've never ever seen.
Can I invite you to do a keynote? Would you do it? Would you say
no? Yeah, probably. I'd just try and picture a Q&A. For example, like there was a big thing with Wired and GQ, and everyone was doing 15-minute keynotes, and I was like, can I do Q&A? I was like, no, everyone's doing it, and I didn't do it. And that was a big thing, and I couldn't do it.
You will get, anyone watching this who's in business will be asking you for a keynote now, or a fireside chat. Fireside chat is better, right? Like this, right? It's amazing. Tell me about your book, which is called Self-Belief, and it's about being successful on your own terms. You're a really a walking example of that.
Thank you.
Tell me about that book.
I did it, like, I think they wanted me to do a book like 2 years prior to that, but I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to remove myself from the audience of being like, I've made it. Like everyone, when you make a book, people like well back in the day it's like, oh my god, you made it. It's like
done. Okay, here's my story.
You've got a book done. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just like tell people my story of what I've done, and try and inspire them. But I did 6, so I released 6, one each week over the summer holidays, and it was good, man. It was well received, like, and I've got a plan for another book.
Have you?
Yeah.
Can you talk about it?
Sick. I don't know, not yet, but this one's gonna be even sicker. I can't wait. I'm excited about it. The same way that I was excited about my first book. And it's funny because like, I talked in Birmingham. And like when I do other things, people turn up with my book and they want me to sign it. I'm like, oh my god, this is sick. I'm like, got my book, yeah?
So you signing Kindles?
Oh no, I've not got to that. You can't sign a Kindle. Well, you can.
Well, you can.
Yeah, you can,
you
but not the book on there. Yeah.
See,
I'll sign the back with a white Sharpie.
You're a spokesperson on the topic of mental health, and I'd like to hear what you've got to say there. Where did that come from, and why do you see it as an important thing to talk about?
Because of the platform I built, I feel like I have a responsibility to sort of push other messages out there, and I think like when I first started talking about it, it was because the people around my estate that unfortunately killed themselves like in a space of each other, and then like it affected like a lot of my mates, like a lot of my close mates, and I was just like, I was confused as well, because I was like, I was with them the other day, like how have they gone, like how, why, what. And I think that the conversation I just wanted to start was just to get around male suicide, just like guys talking to each other a little bit more, like that whole macho Superman thing, and just like if you've got a problem, like talk about it. And that's what inspired the content that I made with that. And it was like a video around, specifically around male suicide, which was with The Guardian. And then after that, I did a video of the Wellcome Trust, which was around mental health in music. So like musicians are like, whatever, 3 times more likely to suffer from depression than others because of like the rejection of being a musician and then not making it and dealing with that. And then I just explored all of that with like people like Dave, Sasha Keeble, Miss Bratt, Despa, a couple of people, and done some research into it. So I don't know, I think it's like I went to be sort of investigating a bit more about different subjects, and then that's what spurred that on.
Such an important issue, and thank you for everything that you're doing. It's I think World Mental Health Day next week, second week of October.
Yeah, I've got a project that I'm working on with BBC Three at the moment. It's quite a big project. We was going to try and do it for World Mental Health Day, but it's too much of a beast to do and get it underway. But
too much on.
Yeah, no, it's too big of a thing to have got it released on World Mental Health Day, because it's much more of a bigger. Yeah. It will take much more time. Right. So that should be out soon. And I don't want to all my content. I mix it up with sort of letting people know what the realist, and not everything around like just different issues. But I don't know.
Well, it's a very important issue, and I'm sure many look at what you're doing and appreciate and probably find the strength to talk about their feelings. Really important issue. I want to ask you, there's people watching, I imagine, who are looking to learn. In closing, what sort of advice would you give others who are sort of growing up, maybe entering the end of their school, looking to do next steps, or perhaps in a midlife career progression? Any advice that you give people?
Don't feel pressured, and don't take calculated risks. And I remember when I was younger, I had the pressure of you had to make it by 30. And when I interviewed the co-founder and the first CEO of Netflix, Mark Randolph, he co-founded Netflix with Reed Hastings when he was 38. And I'm like, what? I sit in the car with him and I was like, really? It's like, yes. Like, and don't like be successful on your own terms. Don't do it just because other people are doing it, or like you feel you have to do something because someone says. And I find one of the big things is, like, regardless of what age you are in life, like, you have that passion, it will get unlocked someday. I unlocked mine when I was 15. Like, my friend's now unlocked hers when she was 80. She's got a knitting business now, but she's been in employment like for most of her life. So it can happen whenever, and I find like you shouldn't be scared of getting like a job that might not necessarily be what you want to do, but it allows you to have freedom. Well, it allows you to invest in what you actually want to do. So like, I was working in Top Man for like 5 years, and I used that money to invest in camera, sound, light, like all that sort of stuff, which then helps my business. And I find people like, I'm not working in Top Man, I'm not working in McDonald's, I'm not working there, because they feel like that's not what I want to do. But that's the wrong way to look at it. You're supposed to look at it, earn your money and budget your money correctly to try and fund your dreams. To
unlock that. Well, that's incredible advice that's suitable for any age, stage or context. Jamal Edwards, you're an absolute inspiration to me and many others. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, no, thank you man, nice one.
All right.
Craig Fenton is now the interviewer.